A year ago, Rory O'Neill probably couldn't have imagined that he'd be at the centre of a massive legal row, and an international cause célèbre, or the word gate would be added to the end of Panti. But Rory is back now on the road for his day job. His show High Heels in Low Places being staged at Vicar Street on June the 13th. Tickets go on sale this Friday. Rory, good afternoon.
Hi. Before we get into that, can I go back on something?
Yes.
This thing about golf. Can you imagine? Put yourself in my shoes.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap about soccer. I don't give a crap. Now, can you imagine if you're me and you get up every morning and you turn on the radio, and on the radio they're banging on constantly about this thing that you don't give a crap about? Like, I don't know, like crochet. So there's like, Pat Kenny's gone on about the crochet, you're going on about the crochet, they have the news, and at the end of the news there's a whole section all about the crochet, and they're telling you who was really crocheted really well last night and who might crochet really well next weekend. And then, later on there's a whole program, hours long, devoted to crocheting. And then at the weekends you turn on the radio and there's literally live crochet on and on and on. And in the back of the paper there are pages and pages about crocheting and who's the most expensive crochet player. And even though you don't give a crap about crochet, it seeps into your consciousness. And these crochet players, they marry pop stars and they are in the gossip columns and they sell you underpants. And it's all, can you imagine what it's like to be me?
That must be hard. So do you have like a knowledge about soccer that you wish you didn't have, but you have?
Well, there's all this stuff that you just seeps in eventually. Like, I vaguely know what the offside rule is because it's one of those stupid things that women aren't supposed to know what it is, so it's always constantly brought up. Or, I know who Ryan Giggs used to play for. The fact that I know his name, I know the names of crochet people. It's so insane that this one thing. And imagine if every time you get into a taxi, the taxi driver says, "Did you see the crochet last night?"
Yeah,
because
they do.
if you are a guy and you get into a cab, the taxi driver will ask you, because there's this assumption that you give a crap about crocheting.
Yeah. It's how men relate to each other, though, in a lot of instances.
Well, no, I think it is, which is just, it's a sad thing.
Yeah,
but there are other. I think there are lots of men who aren't interested in football.
You're absolutely right.
But sometimes feel this pressure to pretend. So they all say to the taxi driver, "Oh no, well I missed it last night." Or, "Oh yeah, I think yeah, whatever." But they really don't. They feel pressured, because if they don't act like that, it will be uncomfortable in the taxi. There'll be suddenly this, "Oh, I think there's a gay in the back." I mean, that's essentially what will happen. The taxi driver will assume you're a gay if you don't know about the crochet. Like, it's weird.
Well, no, but then sometimes men use talking about crochet as a way as just an introductory way of talking about other things. They start off with the crochet, next thing they'll tell you about the last thing they tried.
Yeah, well, no, that's true. And I don't mind that. We all, in my world, I probably use talking about Dolly Parton, the same way. I'm just, so I don't mind that. But every time I get into a cab, I do not say to the taxi driver, "Oh, so have you heard Dolly Parton's latest single?" I assume that not everybody is going to be into the exact same things that I am. And I don't expect everybody to have to listen to the Dolly Parton forecast every day on the radio, or just hours and hours and hours of it. It's so amazing how this one game plays such a huge role in our culture. And if you're not into it, it's this massive thing that you're just like, ugh.
No, it's true when you put it like that. I hadn't really thought. Well, a sport in general is kind of all encompassing, but
it's obviously the big one.
But it's pretty sick because it intersects with kind of fashion and who are they married to, and it's kind of like it's like a poor man's Shakespearean drama, really, in a way.
But in some ways, like Shakespeare or even Dolly Parton only brings good and nice things into the world. But football also brings like horrible things like jingoism and gangs running up and down the streets beating up other gangs. Like, it also brings just, stuff we don't want. So it's so it really puts you in a weird place if you don't. Anyway, this is a whole other subject.
That's an interesting one, though. So have you? If you do get into the back of a taxi and you are asked, what do you say?
Well, it depends. Sometimes I just get totally about. No, God, I have no interest in football. But sometimes I find myself, before I even know it, I've sort of mumbled some half-hearted thing and just hope he doesn't keep, just because to say boldly, "I'm not interested in football," it's like you're making a big statement, like you're being forced into making like a big deal about it. I just, don't ask me about the football.
It depends how far they go into it. Like, I have, like, maybe, it's useful to carry 4 bits of information in your head just so you can make 5 minutes. But then if they go, well, who do you support then? Oh, Jesus. I get out now.
I didn't see the match, but I saw David Beckham's new underwear ad. Poured over it.
How are you back now? I know you have, I did mention the show. Is that kind of the horrible bit, or I don't know, if you look at back in it now, is horrible or a mixed blessing section of your life over? Are you back to your day job, so to speak, now?
Yeah, kind of. Well, I'm trying to be back to I look back on all of that as definitely. Well, actually, at this stage, I look back on it as a blessing. In the beginning, no, but as it turned out in the long run, I think it was good for the country to have that conversation. I think it was good for the gay community, and personally, it ended up in the long run to be good for me too. So I that's all fine. But now I'm just trying to move on with other things. But obviously, it sort of hangs over things too, which is a bit of a pain sometimes because I think. Sometimes there's now this expectation of me to be bloody Gandhi or something, and I have to say the perfect thing all the time, to be the perfect gay all the time. And actually, that ain't who I am. That's never who I was. And I became this national bloody treasure by being, a slightly annoying drag queen. So, that's who I am. I'm slightly annoying. I'm a drag queen, and I say sometimes things, that maybe you shouldn't in polite company, but that's who I am, and that's that's what my show is and always will be and has been, and so I just it kind of struck me as it was truly astounding in the weeks afterwards, the way, like, on even when I walked up from the Dart to here in Diggs Lane, the amount of shops and restaurants that had "I'm on Team Panti," and that seemed to grow up completely spontaneously. It was a ground up sort of movement. It was, sort of a grassrootsy thing. But well, I tell you, I think part of why that was able to happen was simply because Panti's not is an invented character in a sense. Yeah. So you would never have seen "I'm on Team Rory" because Rory is this complicated person. It could be a GAA player. Yeah. Exactly. Well, it could be anybody. But also, Rory has, ex-boyfriends who absolutely hate him because I did the dirt on them. And Rory has a mother who sometimes is exasperated with me because, I don't send her a Mother's Day card. Whereas Panti has none of that baggage. Yeah. Panti is this sort of, so it was easy to turn Panti into this sort of, avatar, whatever you want to say, some sort of symbol for a kind of, maybe a modern Ireland that some people wanted to see. So in that sense, I'm aware enough to know that it really had nothing to do with me. It was about, it was a confluence of events. I know. I mean, you created Panti. You probably didn't create Panti with the intention of turning her into Gandhi. But, no.
But the speech
because flip flops just don't work for me.
But the speech you gave in the Abbey, that was kind of Gandhi-esque stuff there.
Yeah, but see, that's the another weird thing about it is because you see, the gay community were very familiar with Panti and having for many years. They would think nothing of Panti making that speech because, my God, they've heard her making speeches a billion times and they're just over it. So Panti always makes speeches at Pride and, is asked to give the inspiring words sometimes. I mean, that's part of what she's always been about or whatever. So it was just funny that, a wider audience didn't expect that from what they think of as, a panto dame. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I can see that other people were surprised at that, but actually the gays are like, oh, there she goes again.
In a way, has this, and I know you never intended this, but this probably hasn't done your career any harm in that so many more people know who you are.
Oh my God, no, for sure. I mean, I don't know that it's really, going to shift an awful lot more tickets for lots of things, but there's lots of other stuff that has come out of it, like, I'm getting invited. I'm going off to Berlin, to Canada, to New York, whatever, because people abroad are interested in me now because of that video, which is a weird and totally bizarre and unexpected thing. So if somebody wants to, bring me over to Berlin to say a few words at their Pride festival or, whatever. Sure, I'll do that. That's fun. I'm off giving, speaking tour of Canadian universities. Okay, sure, I'll do that for you. It's all in a bit of crack.
Very nice. Yeah. And in the show, are you going to mention Panti-gate? Or I suppose there might be an expectation.
Not about that. Yeah. But the show is more like the stupid sort of anarchic energy of the kind of nightclub show I've been doing for years. So it's more along those lines. But of course, it is about the stuff that's on my mind, whatever. And obviously, Panti-gate played a large role in my life in the last 6 months. So I am going to be talking a bit about it, but not from that not from the political aspect, just from the sort of stupid. It was a very interesting experience to have that happen to you. And
I'd say so.
So obviously, yes, I'll be talking.
Were
a bit
you
about that.
totally stressed out of your mind, at least through parts of it?
In the beginning, for sure. Because in the beginning, it looked terrible. It looked like this was all just the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I thought I was just really in a mess. Now, of course, in the end, it all sort of worked itself out. So, in retrospect, I have no regrets. But, in the first month, my God, yeah, it was not nice.
Has anyone approached you about a movie yet? You can see a movie. It starts with that, and in the end, the final credits are marriage equality became legislation in such a date.
Well, weirdly, I don't know, do you know filmmaker Conor Horgan? He made 100 Mornings and all that. So he's actually been making... He used to be a fashion photographer, and he has photographed Panti, I don't know, maybe 30 times over the years. We've had a long sort of history. And he started making a documentary about Panti like 5 years ago. And for the last 5 years, he has been just slowly, he'll turn up at things, things that he thinks might be interesting. And, he turns up at Pride events or down in Lisdoonvarn or wherever Panti is doing something. And over the years, he's gotten bits of money, and he'll go off to New York for a while and interview people over there that I've worked with or whatever, or he's gone down to meet my parents. He's done, but it's been a very slow process. And I used to sometimes look at him and think, Conor, what is your documentary actually about? Because I don't think he really knew. I'd only agreed to it because I know Conor for a long time or whatever. So, of course, when all of this happened, he just thought, oh my God, all of his gay ships had come in one go, do you know? Because suddenly his documentary is actually about something.
He probably knew that sooner or later.
Yeah, if you just keep following her around for long
go
enough,
in there.
she will F up.
A lot of people texting in, and actually on Twitter as well, supporting your comments about crochet. One person says, I'm a straight guy with a girlfriend, but I fancy Rory so bad. There you go.
Is there a picture? Is that a Facebook comment? Can I stalk him?
That's as good as you're going to get. Right, it is 13th of June in Vicar Street. Tickets are 25 quid. You can get them on Ticketmaster. They go on sale this Friday the 28th.
And the following night in Cork Opera House.
Right, fantastic stuff. Rory, love to see you again. Take care.